The next step in the build of this guitar is going to be sorting out the body, the top and the back of the body that is, and cutting them to shape so that I can then create the sides around them. So this here is going to be the back of the body, and this is the inner side. This is going to be the top. What I'm going to do now is to stick them together, and then I'm going to trace around another guitar, actually a PRS that I've got, in order to get a first idea of the body shape. And I'm going to amend that probably a little bit, just to particularly to elongate a bit the upper horn, so that I can place the strap button a bit further along, which will help with the balance of the guitar, because it's going to have a heavy headstock. Okay, I'm taking a bit of masking tape. I'm going to put 2 bits on this piece, which is going to be the back, and then 1 piece on the top, just to give a little bit of play to allow for any inaccuracy, and hopefully not get too much glue on the actual wood itself. Put a bit of super glue on. Now, making sure that I've got the grain patterns the right way around on the 2 bits of wood, so that these are both the right end, and trying to line up the centre lines as well. Okay, that's pretty good. And now press down, and those should stay together. So here is a PRS Custom 22 that I'm going to use as the first template for the body, which I'm probably going to change a little bit. And I actually want to lengthen this horn a bit, so I'm going to just extend this a little bit. Because I lengthened this horn, I'm going to lengthen this a little bit as well. So there's our shape. Okay, so now we have the body cut out and more or less sanded to shape using the spindle sander. So here are the other 2 pieces together. The last thing to do is to just even out any little rough bits left by the spindle sander using a sanding block and a bit of normal sandpaper. For this build, this particular step is very important now, because I'm going to be using these later effectively as a pattern when I've put the bricks on, to cut them flush with this using my router. Now that's all sanded down, we can split these 2 apart. and there we have the top and the back. So I've got the neck marked out according to my diagram, and the next step now is to cut it out from the blank. Now unfortunately, because my bandsaw isn't set up properly, I think, I can't trust it to make perfectly vertical cuts, and so what I'm going to do is to drill a series of holes with my bench press. This is a Bosch PPD 40, which is a great tool. I'm going to cut a series of holes along where I want to cut here, and then basically saw from hole to hole so that I minimise the scope for the bandsaw blade wandering off. So here's the rather ugly result of the bandsawing, but a bit of work with the sander or a coarse file, and that should be fine. But you can probably see the way that the blade wandered, and so that really I think justifies this approach. So after a bit of work with my belt sander, the Shinto rasp and my spindle sander as well, I've got the neck to close to the shape that I want, roughed out at least, and I think that's a good place to stop for this instalment.